Oscar Piastri is better than Lando Norris. Alright, I know that's bold, but hear me out. Sure, Lando Norris won a race first, kind of, and sure, Lando Norris sits higher in the driver's standings at the moment. But looking back at the last few races before the summer break, you could definitely make the argument that Oscar Piastri has been the faster McLaren driver. In fact, over the last 8 races, Oscar Piastri has managed to score 10 more points than Lando Norris has. Just so we're all on the same page, those have been the 8 races since they both received the upgrade package that brought McLaren to the front of the field. Now, I know what you're probably thinking, and before all the Lando Norris fans run to the comments to destroy me, this video is in no way meant to discredit Lando Norris. Lando is having the best season of his career, managed to get his first win, and has been extremely consistent for the majority of the season. However, it is my personal belief that Oscar Piastri is in the best position to become McLaren's lead driver over the coming seasons. Don't believe me? Well, let's talk about it. Oscar Piastri came into Formula One with a lot of hype around him. After winning Formula Renault, Formula 3, and Formula 2 in back-to-back-to-back years, it was pretty clear that he had massive amounts of talent. That was even more obvious after Alpine went to court over his services during the 2022 season. Once that was all sorted out, Oscar was set to drive for McLaren from the 2023 season onward. Unfortunately for him, McLaren started out the 2023 season as slow as possible. Absolute tractor, trash can on wheels, fishing boat on land. All right, I'm done. That was stupid. Luckily, as they had in years past, McLaren began to turn it around pretty quickly. Oscar would score his first points at his home Grand Prix in Australia and would score again in Monaco before a raft of upgrades for the British Grand Prix would completely change McLaren's season. Oscar qualified third for the British Grand Prix, a career best at the time, and would finish the race in fourth place after being jumped by Lewis Hamilton in the pit stops, which was also a career best. He would qualify in second place for the Japanese Grand Prix and would go on to score his maiden Formula One podium on race day. He would follow that up by winning the sprint race in Qatar before finishing second in the main Grand Prix. Oscar finished the 2023 season with 97 points, 2 podiums, and a ninth place finish in the driver's standings. It was quite an impressive rookie season, but it was clear that Oscar still had to improve his race pace, specifically his tire management, to match Lando Norris. Fast forward to 2024, and it's clear that Oscar Piastri has taken the next step in his career. While he and McLaren once again got off to a slow start, not nearly as bad as the year before, early season upgrades brought the team right back to the front of the grid. As Lando Norris took home a podium at the Chinese Grand Prix and his own maiden victory at the Miami Grand Prix, Oscar Piastri would be given some bad luck at the hands of Lance Stroll and Carlos Sainz. Oscar would bounce back with a P2 finish at the Monaco Grand Prix and look to be in contention for the win at the British Grand Prix before an absolute bottle job by McLaren relegated him to a fourth place finish. After what felt like ages, Oscar would claim his first Grand Prix victory at the Hungarian Grand Prix under some interesting circumstances. Once again, great job, McLaren. Yes, I know team orders made the win feel weird, but Oscar deserved to win that race, and we could have avoided all of this if McLaren just didn't decide to box Lando Norris first to cover off Lewis Hamilton, who was like 20 seconds behind him down the road. He wrapped up the first half of the season with a P3 finish at the Belgium Grand Prix, which would become a P2 finish after George Russell's disqualification. If a few more things had gone his way that weekend, we might have been looking at back-to-back wins for Oscar Piastri, but a second place finish behind Lewis Hamilton is nothing to be upset about. While the results on track have been impressive, the way in which Oscar has gone about getting those results is what has stuck out most to me. With McLaren fighting at the front, we've seen Lando Norris and the team make countless errors. Poor strategy in Canada, lap 1 in Spain, that incident in Austria, poor strategy again in Great Britain, and team orders in Hungary. Whether it's Lando or the team, McLaren have been leaving points on the table since they've become a front-running team again. And while he hasn't been perfect, in fact, overshooting his marks might have cost them that win in Belgium, those same errors don't seem to be plaguing Oscar Piastri. He's been on the wrong end of all those strategy calls and has still somehow managed to score more points than Lando in that period of races. Based on what we've seen so far this year, it looks like Oscar sorted out his race pace and tire wear issues. He was already rapid in qualifying, beating Lando Norris on numerous occasions towards the end of the 2023 season, but now that he's sorted out his issues on Sundays, he's becoming a more complete driver each and every weekend. And I'm not saying that Oscar Piastri is the perfect driver or complete package at this point in his career, but that's what's wild. Oscar is still only in his second season of Formula One with his whole career out in front of him. He looks fast, he looks mature, and he won't want to be McLaren's second driver longer than he has to be. He sits 32 points behind Lando Norris at the time of recording, but I don't expect that gap to remain that big for the remainder of the season. We keep hearing that Lando Norris is getting there, and he just needs more time at the front. But looking back across history, the true greats of the sport seem to already be there from the moment they step into an F1 car. I think of Hamilton competing for a title straight away, or Max winning his first race with Red Bull, and even Michael Schumacher's incredible debut qualifying performance. Sure, we've seen standout performances from Lando Norris, but if you ask me, Oscar Piastri looks like the driver that more fits that mold. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but if McLaren bring the fastest package again in 2025, don't be surprised if it's Oscar Piastri, not Lando Norris, fighting for the title. Yes, Lando Norris is still the number one and more experienced driver at McLaren, but now that the team finally has a quick car, it feels like Lando's hitting some sort of ceiling, while Oscar Piastri just seems to be getting faster and faster. Who knows? Maybe we come back from the summer break and Lando Norris is a renewed driver, reclaiming his place at the top of McLaren and bringing the fight to Max Verstappen. Or Oscar Piastri continues his charge and cements himself at the top level of Formula One. Either way, we've got quite the teammate battle on our hands, and Formula One in 2024 just keeps on delivering. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. It really helps the channel grow. My name is Justin, this is the Podium Pushers YouTube channel, and we will see you in the next one.